Las Vegas Aces dropped their Never Fold documentary just in time for Mental Health Awareness Month. I am a licensed mental health therapist, but I like to look at the mindset of sports because I know that everything is mental. It starts somewhere first. And so the Never Fold documentary go over how the Las Vegas Aces never fold. And I always wonder, how did they mentally pull this off from being last to the championship? And I'm a huge Las Vegas Aces fan. So when they dropped this documentary, I'm like, yes, because I like to bridge the gap between mental performance and sports. And so Las Vegas Aces, and I did this because I wanted to take notes and hit on some great talking points from it. So in the beginning, they talked about how they lost some players. Some players had to be traded. Some were lost. And so this had to be a huge new team. Mind you, the pressure of being a dynasty, once you win something back to back, when you at the top, everybody's going to come for you. So how do we beat Las Vegas Aces? So in the midst of losing players, the new ones that came to the team, they had to learn how to play with each other. As we can see in those first few months, it weren't connecting, it weren't sticking. And so what I want to talk about is the first thing that I touched points and wrote down on my note: significant life events. I think that sometimes the viewers, the fans, the supporters forget that above all things, sports players are still humans. And so I love how they shed light on how KB and Jackie Young lost their fathers and uncles. And so it kind of showed up in Jackie Young's sport when she said, I was playing angry, I was playing frustrated, because in the midst of all that, they're still grieving. And one thing that touched my heart, I think she made a bad play or something wasn't going well. And in the documentary, they showed Jackie Young doing like this. So just stop being hard on people. Trust me, they already hard on themselves. When you a performer playing at an elite level, you already put pressure upon yourself. And just think about your day-to-day stressor. The hate that KB gets, it needs to stop. It really needs to stop, because you were saying they need to switch her, take her out of the team whole time this girl going through grief. Let's not forget, even if she weren't, she's still human. And so I would say, think about the job you're on. We all don't perform well when we first doing something. It takes time to grow and develop. And in the midst of that, you're still going to make mistakes. And then you all love to say, oh, you messing up my parlay. They didn't ask to be on your parlay. Stop putting them pressure on them to perform. They already hard on themselves. And so I love that it talked about grief and loss and just life transitions. Speaking of life transitions, another person that I want to bring up is Cheyenne Parker Titus, the mother. So she had to sit out, and she just felt like, I can't support my team and be there, for them how I want to show up and be there. But I love how they showed her working out while she was pregnant, still trying to get herself together. And when she entered the game, when she was in, because I watched the game, I'm a Las Vegas Aces fan. And I was so happy to see her. It reminded me of Beyonce's song, Strong Enough to Bear the Children and Get Back to Business. So shout out to Cheyenne Parker Titus, such a beautiful, beautiful young lady. Las Vegas Aces versus who? Everybody. And so in the midst of that, I know one player that stood out to me, Alicia Clark. She left last minute, and it was like, dang, what are we going to do? And so I love that part. They had to put their heads together. And then it felt like Asia Wilson was carrying the team on her back to shed light to where she was dominated in all categories, and it shouldn't have been placed just on Asia. And so they was criticizing, like Jewel Law said, they critical on everything you do. I'm gonna repeat that again. People are critical in everything that you do. They criticizing, they nitpicking, and they looking. And so how, in the words of Asia Wilson, how do you stay poised through the noise? That's a mental mindset. That's a mental gym. The noise is there, but how do I stay poised through that? How do I not allow what they're saying to get to me? I love how they put in the different things that people were saying about Las Vegas Aces in the documentary. Now, Asia Wilson felt like she was carrying the team on her back. The other thing, Nalissa Smith. Insert Nalissa Smith. So she was a new player to the team. what stood out to me, she said, they believed in me. And when you believe in other people, it makes them believe in themselves. And so she played for other teams, but Las Vegas Aces brought out the best of her. And then you saw the team that she was traded from. She said she wasn't playing her best when she first played against them. So she had to mentally get herself together. After that, Liz went to putting up points, but I wrote that quote down. They believed in me. And so it shows you when you have somebody that believes in you, it makes you believe in yourself and you show up differently. Las Vegas Aces just has it. They have that it factor. Before all of these things, I think they are the standard. And to be honest with you, they have that written on the board about their standards and their principles. But just as a supporter on the outside looking in, they are the standard. If you look down to where they have videos, all access, so the bloopers, the behind the scenes, some of these things I'm familiar with because I follow Las Vegas Aces here on YouTube. And they give you scenes of different things. So I'm looking at the games. I'm looking at the mindsets already of Las Vegas Aces. And so just when you go on their YouTube channel, whoever recording or taking their pictures, everything just seemed precise, done with precision, done with perfection. And so it had to start with some stuff start from the head on, from their GM, their practice facility, look nice. And when you pour into them, it makes it easier for them to go out on court and do the work because they know that they GM, everybody that work within the Aces organizations believe in them and pour into their players. So when you pour into your players, I think one of the ladies said that all we have to do is just show up and play. And so I'm glad Alyssa Smith was traded to that team because in Romans 8:28, everything is working out for your greater good. So that trade for her and Jewel Lloyd was working out for their greater good. And I say this all the time. Liz said, I went from worst to first. God don't play about me. I love that quote. Jewel Lloyd said, I was written off and exiled, but they don't know they sent me to the promised land. Aces is that team where I say this is redemption, but I love how they worded to never fold. Under all that pressure, they did not fold. And Chelsea Gray, the mother point guard. When Chelsea Gray make a play, I jump up. That lady there is incredible. To the point where she did feel like she was performing at her best. And so my girls had to get their head back in the game. And this, when they made history, no one ever lost by 53 points. But it was all working out for their greater good. So they lost by 28 points. 53 points. Asia Wilson sent the text that if you're not embarrassed about yesterday, then don't show up to practice tomorrow. And I put in quotations what she said. We needed a mindset shift. Now, I don't know what the mindset shift was in each individual. I would love to find that out. But they certainly had a mindset shift. How do we know that? They won 17 consecutive games in a row. Something shifted. And it had to be their mindset, their effort, and then they learned to come together as a team because it was new. They had the longest winning streak. So they made history from losing by the most points to going back to history to winning the most. And so Las Vegas Aces is the Beyonce of the WNBA. How do I beat myself? It's not any other team. Not to say these other ladies not good because New York Liberty is a good team. Also, you know, the team that they had to play with in the playoffs. I can't think of it off the bat, but I like that team too. I could think of Collier Copper. My mind is not, going through right now. And AT. So that team, they're a pretty good team as well. And so what stood out to me is when they was writing on the board. And I had to pause and I said, take notes. What's on Las Vegas Aces board? Because although this is sports, you can implement this in your personal life with your business or whatever job you're at. Becky said something that was pointed before I go into what was on the board. She said they had to learn to play through the pain. Not learn to play through the pain. She said they had to learn through the pain. So sometimes when you're going through the pain, what is it for me to learn here? They maybe learn chemistry, believing in myself, believing in others. So they talked about believing in themselves, you know, to take some shots from the free throw. You used to playing up, you had to play back. And there were just different things they probably learned, you know, throughout, but you got to learn through the pain. The pain there, you don't let it defeat you. You don't allow it to let you fold. So what do I need to learn through this? Learn through the pain. So on their board, they had compete and win championships. If that's the standard, that's what you're looking at. So you need to ask yourself daily, how do I get to this standard? Standard is excellence. So on their board it says standard is excellence, and the standard is to compete and win championships. But the principle and process, they said they are principle and process based, not result based. So most people, you know, it's based on the principle. It's based on in the process. What are we learning through the process? What are we doing through the process to get the standard, which is the championship and excellence? And so during the process is the most important piece. And Becky said growth requires change. Kind of like one of my favorite mantras that I have to tell myself. Change happens outside your comfort zone. These girls had to learn to grow, to do some things they never done, to get what they never had. For some of them, that was new to the team, or to maintain what you had, that championship, that standard. We have to change, we have to grow, take the back seat, take the front seat, but something within the organization changed so they can get that championship. And on the bottom, they talked about pure excellence, and they had different principles on there. Now, there were a few, but I chose two that stood out to me when they had selfless, and then they had team over self. That's the way to win a championship. There's no one player can go to the championship. So when you're making a decision, think about the team. Team over self, and then they had trust. Meaning you have to trust each other. So if you over here, instead of taking a shot, I got to trust that, you know, if I give this ball to Asia, KB, or whoever, I trust that, you know, they will make it. They put their trust in Asia. Get a ball to Asia. You got to trust. And so that's part of a team. And the other part is care and chemistry. You got to have chemistry. You got to have care. And that's what I see amongst the Las Vegas Aces players, how just Becky shows up. Becky's at Unrivaled. She supports the different things that they do on and off the court. She has fun with them entering the TikTok. People want to know that you care. And there's chemistry there. And how do you do that? Through team building. And Asia also talked about that she want them to keep it honest with her, and she keep it honest with her team. And that's the only way that you can grow, through honesty and transparency about what do you see within each other, so that you all can grow. But there's chemistry there, and you can tell, you know, that they have chemistry and care about each other. Now, the last thing that was on there, I said two things, but I'm gonna say one more because I forgot that I put it on there. It's fun. You could tell that they have fun. I see them on the sideline. They're their true, authentic self, and I didn't watch because of this narrative who they say is what bring your eyes to the WNBA. For me, it was the Las Vegas Aces. When I saw Asia Wilson and Sydney Colson on the sideline, and they said, Becky coming, Becky coming. So I'm like, who's these girls? Who's the Las Vegas Aces? Because they was their true, authentic self. And then the next thing that I want to do is watch their championship conference. They were them. They were joy popping bottles, dancing, being them. Racism is very prevalent in the WNBA, because when I make a review about Angel Reese or anyone, some people come in under there with their person. But that needs to stop, even though we can't stop it. So I want you all to, what Asia Wilson said, stay poised under pressure. Do not allow what the naysayers get to you as a player. And so they had fun, to bring it back to why I started watching. They was their true, authentic self. And I just think the story of these ladies need to be told, because there are so many great players who I started off as knowing one team. I know many teams. I probably can name you 3 to 5 players now on each team. I'm too involved. I took a day trip to go to Unrivaled when it was in NYC. I try to watch every one game. Maybe somebody in there that I like, but I'm a Las Vegas Aces fan first, above all things. And then my second team is Atlanta Dream. But this is about Las Vegas Aces. Their organization as a whole is the it factor. They have it. There's a standard. 2026, let's win again. What Drake said, back to back to back. I got a really big team, and they like some really nice things. And we need what? really big ring. So shout out to Las Vegas Aces for always being a standard, setting a standard, and maintaining a standard. Win, lose, or draw, I'm riding with them. That's my team. And I'm looking forward to their games tomorrow and Sunday. But overall, well done documentary. It pulls on your heart. For me, what touched me the most is KB, them just being transparent about how these words hurt them that you all are saying. So be a little nice, be a little kind. And haven't y'all learned anything through that Kyron Lacey situation? Like, people already put pressure on themselves. You don't know you could push somebody into a deep depression, but that's why it goes back to that, those principles in there of chemistry and trust, and just leaning upon the people that love you. I think someone told her in the documentary, focus on the good comments that they send you. Look at the ones that's good. But sometimes it's not about you, KB. Sometimes, and not in a bad way when I said it's not about you. I'm saying it's not about you when people are projecting their own insecurities and hurt, because somebody that's operating at a good and pure pace in life would not spew out negativity and hate and half of the things they say to you. And so I say this to say, have an amazing season. I'm rooting for you all. Pour love into KB, Jewel Lord, and all the ladies of Las Vegas Aces. Well done, documentary. Well done to the standard.